lower segments. If now I want to localize C4-5, I'm going to come up to C2. What I want to lock out is his craniovertebral region. Okay? If I start to side bend his head to the left, what do I expect to feel?
Pushing into your right finger.
What pushes into my right finger? C2 spinous process. Okay? Because the C2 spinous process, why is the C2 spinous process pushing into my right finger? Because what? Where? Yep. So there's rotation happening. C2 is rotating in space, and that spinous process pushes into my finger. I feel it. Okay? Should happen right away. The second I feel that, that means C2 has rotated. Now, if the bone has rotated, if C2 has rotated in space, C2 has rotated on C3. Does that make sense? C3 is here, C2 is here. If C2 is rotated, all right, now it means C2 is rotated on C3. So now we've rotated at C2-3. That's fine, that's normal. However, I want to lock this out. So as I side bend him, C2 has rotated on C3. I can feel that because the spinous process is here. I can feel the C3 spinous process. So now the tail has wagged that way a little bit. So now what I do is I rotate him to the right a little bit until I feel the spinous processes go back in line. Pretend these two fingers, this is spinous process of C2, this is spinous process of C3. When I side bend him, that happens. I'm exaggerating, of course. Okay, see it? When I rotate him, that happens. The spinous process of C2 is now over the spinous process of C3. What can I conclude about C2-3 now? It's what? Well, now I have aligned C2 over C3. So they're in line. What's that? To get out of rotation. I've just de-rotated it. Okay? So when I side bend, C2 is rotating on C3. There's stuff happening above. We're ignoring that for right now. C2 has rotated on C3. When I rotate him to the right, now C2 is over C3. It's happy again. C2-3 is neutral. I do it again. I palpate the spinous process. I'm doing this for you. I palpate it like this. Okay. I side bend a little more. Oh, look, it translated a little bit more. So now it's rotated. C2-3 is rotated. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to rotate it back. So now I do this. Now C2 is on C3 in neutral. In this position, his CV is locked out. However, his C2-3 is in neutral. Okay? So now I can start to move his head, and I'm not going to torque through the CV region. And I like that because I can use that to start to do things down below, like this. Why would I want to do this? What am I doing when I do this? I'm doing an upslide. Doing an upslide of the right facet. So if I do CV locking, I unwind so I'm not torquing the vertebral artery because of its bend. Now I've localized, I've neutralized C2-3. I've taken the head and CV out of it. I can use his head, I can move him around and start to get an assessment of C2 down to C7. And now I can do my PAVM assessment. Okay? Have your patient sitting.